So our hope is that you'll create your vision board. You have until about 5 to do it, but you will listen to us too. Ask questions, be open, and just have fun. So I have a lot of questions, but I'll just ask ones, and hopefully they'll resonate with you. And if you hear a question and you want to ask more about it, just raise your hand, and I'll bring the mic over to you. So, you guys had your careers for over a decade. Decades, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did you get to where you are today in your career and your personal life?
Did have to look for, when I did start looking for work after high school, I wanted to do music in some capacity, and I didn't know how. And, my first job in the record industry was working at Jive Records. That job, like many things in life, I was in that building for an interview for another company that, and I didn't get that job. But as I was leaving that building, I happened to look up in the directory, and I saw that it was Jive Records. So I asked the security guard in the building, I'm like, how do I get up there? How can I, who can I ask for a job? And someone heard me talking to the security guard and said, hi, I actually work at Jive Records. Let me give you the name of the person that does the hiring. And my very first job in the industry was a receptionist. So I started from the very bottom. And there, though, I really, I think in my bio, it says something about how it was my corner office, because I met so many people from that reception desk. And I was the first person that any artist, any executive would see in the morning or at any time that they walk into the building. And I loved my job. I loved it so much that on the 10th year of being the receptionist there, somebody in the company, well, my friend, who's still my best friend in life, but she lives in France now, said to me, you should get out from behind that desk and become my assistant. And I said to her, I feel like we're best friends, and I don't know that friends could make good, it would be nice, it would be good to work. I don't think it's a good idea to work for a friend. And she goes, try it. You're gonna be fine. And so I took that position, and that's how I started going up the ranks, and then I became a vice president. Just from doing my job, loving my job.
How long was the climb from receptionist to assistant to vice president?
The vice presidency came when I left there. So I left Jive Records to go work at Capitol Records EMI, and there, after my first year there, my boss made me a VP. And the thing about that I'll be very honest about is that when I was approached, this is what we're doing, in order for that to happen, they had to let go of my boss. And, we were very different people in many ways. And I said to my boss, which I will never do again, and I would never want anyone here to say this, but I'm telling you so that you don't repeat what I did. I told my boss, who made me a VP, I said, you've got the wrong girl. You don't want me to be this person. I don't know anything about Katy Perry. And then he goes, well, in working with her, you will learn. He said, I want you to go home today, because I was crying. I was upset that I didn't know how I was going to do this. I knew what to do. I just didn't believe in myself, And he said, I want you to go home today. And when you come back tomorrow, you're going to take this VP job and you're going to love it. And I was like, okay. And yeah, That's how it happened.
I wanted to start doing like the nursing track because at that time I thought, oh, helping people, I probably should be in the medical field. Let's just say it wasn't for me. Like I tried, I really did try. And I remember, I forgot if it was Sister Susan or someone came and sat down with me and said, hey, Janae, I see that you're trying with like these science classes, but you know, the grades are just not there. Like that's what she's basically saying. And I knew that. I knew that within myself. I just enjoyed learning about the body and how we could help people, but I didn't love it. I didn't listen to that part of myself, but it was helpful to have like a teacher to talk to me saying like, hey, you know, it doesn't seem like this is like the route that you may want to take, but you might want to take something else. So I kind of paused on taking all those nursing courses. That was like to kind of like being an introduction in high school. And I did notice that I did enjoy taking like, it was like an early childhood development course that was more closer to psychology, but I wasn't thinking of that at the time. So long story short, for bachelor's, I majored in psychology and minored in sociology. Absolutely loved it. I knew I had to continue my education to really do stuff in the mental health field, but didn't know what to do. So once again, coming out feeling kind of confident, but also unsure. I remember my first job out of, graduating. I worked at Hudson County Community College as an academic advisor, part-time for some time. And I also had a retail job. So I was working part-time, 2 part-time jobs, just trying to figure it out, learning how to adult in the world. And I felt like I was actually behind because I could see on social media that like my friends and other people, they were getting full-time jobs or just like figuring out life and like going on to like further education. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So when I actually had downtime, I eventually stumbled on art therapy through research, really. And I visited a few schools, some that was in New York, as well as Caldwell University, which I graduated from. And once I went on the campus for Caldwell University, I really enjoyed the feel of it. I don't know how to explain it, but a big part of, I feel like my process is how do I feel when I'm in a room or when I'm present or if I'm talking to someone. I'm really intuitive with that. So I enjoyed how I felt, but I also enjoyed what that work would look like finding about the program and everything. So that took 3.5 years to do that graduate program with internships, and that's what led me to the Mental Health Association. I climb up in different roles at the Mental Health Association, and as of last year, now I'm serving as the director of suicide prevention services, something that I didn't think I was ready for. Similar to how you kind of mentioned other people were kind of like coming to you and saying like, no, you're capable of this. I didn't want it. Mm-hmm. I remember even Barbara Brownsworth, who works here, and a few other colleagues, like my supervisor, were coming to me and say, Janae, I think you're ready for growth. Like there's an opportunity for you to become the director of suicide prevention services. Are you gonna apply? I was like, me? I was like, I'm not ready for that. I've only been here for 3 years. What do you mean? Like I'm thinking that for a director, you need to be a little bit more seasoned, if you will. And even at the Mental Health Association, our CEO, I remember he called me in and he sat me down. He's like, Janae, what's your hesitancy? Like, you really wanted to have a conversation. I appreciated that too, because he obviously saw something in me as well. And I told him, I was like, I don't think I'm ready for it. It seems like it's going to be a lot of work. And he's like, I just want to pause you really quickly. Just so you know, you already have the qualities that's needed for this job. And whatever you don't know, don't worry about it because we're going to be here to help you along the way. And I think that was such a key thing to hear for myself because I was like, you know what, I don't have to know everything or the how or how everything's going to figure it out. But it was just nice to know that people saw like those qualities in myself to say like, you're capable of it. And being a year in, I'm like, yeah, I am capable of it. I'm doing it. I'm doing the job and I enjoy it. I didn't notice at the time, but I was like, they were already nurturing something that I already enjoy doing. And I appreciated them for that. Even in high school, I took a few art classes, and our teacher was like, you're really great. Do you want to pursue this? And I was like, oh, I kind of just do art for myself. I didn't see it as a thing for me to do as a career. Because like I said, I think my goal was, how can I help people? Like that was like my main thing, even as a young person. So art has always been present, especially journaling. I remember like also just being a middle school and high school youth who felt like misunderstood, not heard, and not seen. So journaling was something that I naturally tapped into and didn't notice that it was like helpful for me at the time. So art has always been in my life, and definitely when I decided to join or apply for grad school for art therapy, I didn't have the art classes or credits because I've always done like psychology, sociology. So that was a great way for me to actually take concrete art classes, and I took like a year just paying them out of pocket, going to community colleges and like taking figure drawing and watercolor, and that was like all fun because I've never done official art classes before. So yeah, art has been a big part of my life. It's always been a part of my life, and I just really enjoy the fact that I could facilitate or do different art therapy activities in the community and allow people to really express themselves, but also learn another way that they could take care of themselves through art, through writing. That's such a powerful tool that I still use today. And it's another like way of like healing too through the art.
That's great. And I wanted to talk about sometimes some of you are a little older and you're about to go to college or high school and you got to choose. What are you going to do? And I know that there's some dancers and even with us, we're all artists, but we also have careers helping people. Sometimes your art could be the thing that changes the world. Like maybe you might go into dance therapy while you're sitting creating the next big choreography, masterpiece. But never ever like forget your art because you never know how you can incorporate it in your career.
Yeah, I really do appreciate and feel blessed that I'm able to keep both. I think that was the thing about like art therapy and mental health. I was like, well, I enjoy helping people and I enjoy the creative arts, and I'm glad I'm able to keep both of them in my life and use that as a vehicle for change.
And you're a testament. People are learning now that the person in the corner who's doodling while you're listening, while you're talking, they're listening. It's just they need art to help process and to calm them down because art is calming.
Yes.
For me, I would absolutely love art as a career. I'm not sure what specific art I'm going to do, so that's why I'm choosing to be versatile, like probably change up my career or do a mix of all of the things that I do. I've done acting, I've done poetry, I have done dancing, singing. My first art that I really loved was drawing. I've been drawing since I was a little girl. It started at my grandmother's house where my mom used to go to work. But one thing that I'm super, super worried about is how I'm going to be financially stable, because art isn't, let me not say art is not a stable career, because it can be, but what I hear all the time is you don't want to be a starving artist. You always want to eat. So one thing that I really hope to do is find more opportunities where I can get paid, because when I'm actually in high school, I'm a sophomore in high school, I'm turning 16 in December, and I just want to be able to have my own money for college, to be able to buy books and financially support myself so no one has to.
When you find the answer, let us know. I'm just kidding. Let that starving artist thing go. It is a fallacy and it doesn't have to be. And I didn't know that until like 30 plus years. There is a space for us to make an income healing the world with our art. Art's important. If you remember the pandemic, they needed us. We're important. People go home from a stressful day at work and they turn on the TV, they go to theater, they listen to their favorite hip hop songs. We're needed and should be paid for that art. But what is your take on what she said? And what are some tools that a young person should incorporate right away to help them reach their vision?
Yeah, I think it all relates. I was originally going to say like a support system. So I hear how talented you are and how much you're like multifaceted, which is awesome. I'm not sure if you have like a mentor or someone to help like guide you, even a part of the NJPAC community here. I feel like if you're connecting to one or two teaching artists, I think that could be helpful with kind of help guiding you towards like different opportunities. Because I feel like a lot of times through here, the NJPAC community, I've even seen some people doing really great things on Instagram. I'm following a lot of people and I see that. So I really encourage you to have like a mentor, or even like just building up your community of support systems. Like in addition to parents and such, like who else here that you could tap into, maybe even at school that you might connect with like a teacher there as well that can help you along the way to your like creative journey. I think that's an important thing.
And are you aware, I think this is a shameless plug, of the creative coaching program that we have here?
Oh, yes, I never done it before.
You must find a mentor who can help you, a working actor who's out there paying their bills with their craft. So talk to Randall. talk to Antonella and get in as soon as you can. It's a resource for you, and it's free, and it's here. What about
Also,
you?
if I can add to that, first of all, can we move that bag from your face? Because you're beautiful and it's in the way. Thank you. But also remember that in whatever art program you want to, or art genre you want to go into, chances are you're young enough right now that you can get into a program that they may have for young people. Like for instance, I was talking earlier that I thought I wanted to be an actor. And so through my high school at the time, I was able to do an internship at the Lee Strasberg Theater Institute in Manhattan. And I don't know if you're familiar with Lee Strasberg, but it's a very expensive school. And Lee Strasberg was the master of what they call the method acting. And people like, a lot of great actors that you may see on television or movies today have that kind of training in their backpacks, like Al Pacino and others, and I would have never known about that program unless I asked them directly, And so always ask if there's something for high schoolers, because it could be a good beginning for you to maybe get in there for free or maybe for a little bit of money, but also you can explore further if that's really what you want to do, It was there that I discovered that I sucked as an actor, but they had a musical theater program there, and I realized that's really what I want to do, is musical theater, which I didn't do anyway because life, took me to another place completely different, again with that first job at Jive Records as a receptionist, but then there is where I landed and then realized, oh, the music industry is more my speed.
I hear a lot of, I hear you worry. You're 15.
Yeah.
Going on 16.
Right.
Chill with the worry. When you live your authentic self and you being a triple threat,
Right.
you can't lose, so stop worrying. And the money will come. School's going to be paid for.
I'm gonna check on you later because I know you're destined to do something fantastic.
Just talk to people and find mentors.
And follow your curiosity. I feel like that's what's being talked about here too. Like if you're curious about something, kind of look into that. Like it could lead to something else, like how Donnie was saying. Absolutely.
And just one more thing to add to that also, because yes, while I had a full-time job, I was also a singer. And that tapped into what I could create for myself that was all mine, because there's something really beautiful. Later in life, when I was in between, after I left Capitol Records, I didn't work a regular job for a corporate job, as I call them, for 2 years. And I started doing other things that tapped into my creative mind. And I picked up pottery making, like pottery. And and that was, again, made by my hands and, and all mine, that no one could take away from me. So I just always think that keeping your creative mind active with other things is always a good idea, especially when it's created by you. My actual job when I was at MTV, up until a month ago when I stopped working there, was to book talent. So I booked talent. I booked talent for the VMAs. I booked talent, and that's why you can see in some of those pictures that are on the screen, I've worked with Katy Perry. I've worked with Gabby, that you guys might call her, H-E-R, or her. I've worked with A Tribe Called, so many people in my life that yesterday was Ciara's birthday, and I sent her, we're friends, and I sent her a happy birthday text. Because, when you work with these people, I worked with Ciara when she was 15 years old, when she started at Jive Records. I was the video promotions person when videos were consumed on MTV. So I would take them to MTV. They would do promos, when they were doing promos on their new songs. And I remember when we did, what's her song? 1 2 Step, right? Yeah. So I remember she was 16 years old, and now look at her. She's probably one of the richest women I know.
What would you advise to young people who are trying to be in this very hard, very superficial sometimes career? What are some practices you think that they should think about incorporating?
So the first thing I want to say is I think a lot of people are already using affirmations as a thing that could be a regular everyday thing that you could do. But I want to say also to write your dreams down and keep it not just a vision board too. A vision board is great, but I tend to write a lot in a journal or so, and I tend to revisit it because sometimes it helps me through tough days in terms of words of encouragement or just dreams that I've had. And wow, I'm actually already on the road to achieving that. So I think that's such an important thing. So in addition to having affirmations and writing things down, also going back to the support system, make sure that you have friends and family members who really care about who you are and what you're doing. And I actually use my art as a way to also express myself when I have my therapy session. So what that means is if I was having a tough day, I remember writing a poem in my phone because I didn't have paper and pen. And then for my therapy session, I actually read it out loud, and that was helpful for me. So I find these different things, having affirmations for yourself, reminding yourself of who you are and what your capabilities is important. Writing things down are important, and also having a support system in addition to a professional if necessary.
I love stories of people who consistently do vision boards, and they're moving, and they're oh, here's my vision board from 2020. And half of the stuff or more is already actualized. That's beautiful. But about insecurity and hard days, you guys are successful in your fields. Could you tell us about a time where you felt like giving up? Obviously you didn't, because you're here to talk about it. What did that feel like, and how did you overcome it? What were some tools you used when you felt like, this isn't for me, I'm gonna go work at Verizon? There's nothing wrong with Verizon, I just use Verizon as the opposite of anything I wanna do in life. So while you still, could you finish and talk about that?
Sure. I feel a point in my life where I felt it was really challenging was right after I earned my bachelor's degree, because like I said, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, and I had so many professors who were well-meaningful. They're you need to go and get your master's, and I'm not someone who just does anything just because someone tells me to. I'm very big on, I'm doing this because I'm meant to do this. I already have a plan and a vision for it. So that was a tough time for me because I wasn't sure where my life was headed, and I think I mentioned earlier I was working 2 different part-time jobs, and I wasn't sure about things. I even considered, I didn't tell my family's from Jamaica, I even considered, I was you know what, I might go to Jamaica for a couple months and learn the farm work because I just need to leave America a little bit and do something different and work with my hands. And I didn't ask them. I'm pretty sure they'd have been sure, Janae, come down. I kind of just used that time to just be it's okay, Janae. I try to remind myself I am where I'm meant to be. And this is really my journey. So stop looking at other things on social media and comparing myself to that because it's so easy to do that. So just reminding myself I'm really where I need to be, and I'm gonna do the things I need to do as well. So I think that was a really hard time, but like I said earlier, I did use some of my time to kind of research things that I enjoyed. I was I know I like counseling, but what am I gonna do with that? So I kind of just took my time and look online and spent time also visiting some colleges at that time in terms of art therapy. I went to 2 colleges in New York, spoke to them. One person said, hey, you mentioned counseling. We don't really that's not our basis here. So if you're looking for that, you need to go to Caldwell. And I appreciated her honesty, because oftentimes you're going to these schools, people are mainly kind of like attracting you to their school. But she was like very honest and open, and I'm grateful for taking that time to travel to these schools, to see the environment, to ask questions before really making a full decision, and just like giving myself that grace of figuring it out.
And you speaking up about your desires and needs helped you get what you want.
Yeah.
So for young people out there who are afraid to speak up, ask for what you want, ask questions, be curious. You'd be surprised at the answers you'd get.
Yes.
And it led you to Caldwell, where you needed to be.
Yep.
And you didn't even know it.
Didn't even know. Look at that.
I think that surrounding yourself with positive people when you're not in a good space, because listen, we're not perfect. We can get down on things every now and again, and that's just natural. So, but before you get any deeper into your thoughts, because sometimes we could be our worst enemies, surround yourself with people that are going to remind you how wonderful you are, because we are all here for different reasons. And, just like careers are all chosen for different reasons, we're also on this planet for different reasons too. So, yeah. I definitely, because, when I was their age, there was no social media. So I've learned that it is a wonderful tool to get seen. However, you also have to realize that there's a lot of people also trying to get in. So try to be, try to make your, whatever it is that your art form is, try to be the best, and try to also be different, don't try to do whatever has already been done, because you're just gonna be in a pool of people that are doing it.
I think just letting yourself shine, because you're the only one. Like, I think that young people really don't understand that they are original. You don't have to try to be different or unique, because you are.
Yeah, your uniqueness is gold, really.
What are some of the cons that you think social media has on young people trying to get discovered?
Yeah, I think it's challenging I think even what I've experienced is, just witnessing perhaps like friends or other people that you're following and seeing them achieve their goals, and perhaps like you haven't achieved a specific goal that you're like earning or looking to achieve. So it's really hard in terms of like your own mental health to see like, wow, like this person's doing well. And oftentimes we feel, I would think, happy for the person, but also like sad for yourself, because you're like, wait, I haven't, achieved that yet. So I think in terms of our own mental health, like recognizing that not everything on social media is like the person's like full life, right? We're looking at really like snapshots of everyone else's life and what they're choosing to show on social media, and that's not their full life. So it's just important to take it with like a grain of salt, not to like think, oh, this person like has a perfect life and everything works out for them and they never struggle. That's not the case. Like, I think even for us, like we're looking at perhaps like the best photo out of 100 to post, right? So we're looking at the best one to post. So I think just like managing your like mental health in a way of not almost like overthinking things of what people post and just like assuming that everything is perfect for them and saying nothing's like going great for you. But also like negative comments. I think that's a very difficult one, where you might have posted something or something that could easily be like, well, that was a great post, and then you see some people having some negative comments towards that. Like, navigating that is a big challenge. It's not easy. And there's going to be certain things that you may learn that you may not have the words for and need to like leave it be, or just learning how to like really like stand up for yourself when it comes to like certain comments. I think those are some of the cons, unfortunately, to social media, because a lot of people are saying things and you don't see them, but because those words hurt just as much as someone saying it to your face.
Oh, sorry. Also, I always find that if you say nothing to them, that's probably the best thing you can do, because I think silence speaks volumes. That it did not affect you. Whatever they're saying does not affect you. Also, to your point about how their life might seem wonderful, that could just be fantasy. That could just be them trying to put that out there while they're actually really sad and miserable too. So don't believe everything you see and read.
You talk about struggles, and everybody has them. What keeps you going?
For me, because right now, if I could be very honest with you guys, the reason I'm not at MTV anymore is because my time there ended, and now I'm looking for the next chapter of my life, and it makes me a little nervous that I don't know what's next for me, but it's definitely going to be still in entertainment. I just don't know what that is, and that's a struggle for me because I've always had a job in this industry, and I need to just figure it out. But I think I can't give up on. I still have dreams. I still have dreams of, having a legacy that, has really hit all the marks in this industry. And I just don't, again, surrounding me with positive people who are constantly telling me, don't give up. So it's about believing in what your vision is. It's believing whatever you're writing there, whatever you're pasting and gluing, you have to believe that this is what you want, and you'll get there. So
And deserve too.
And deserve, yes. So I try not to think negative thoughts, although sometimes it's hard, but yeah, I don't give in to those thoughts.
What about you?
Yeah, I think like hope just keeps me going. Because sometimes when I think about certain feelings I'm having, I try to remind myself that this is not gonna last forever. Like this feeling, this experience, this hardship, it's not gonna last forever. The things that last forever is my heart for people, the things that I enjoy, my purpose. I'm also like spiritual too, so I always think about like, well, God didn't create me for this. Like I'm going to do more. Like I think I just rest on like my spirituality as a strength too, because it kind of helps me to like lean back into my mental health and say, okay, like this is not gonna last forever. It's okay. Like this is temporary, and I'll get through this. I could do hard things. I try to remind myself that.
Knew that just hang in there. It will get better. And every single bad thing that has ever happened to me, guess what happened?
You survived.
I'm still here.
Yes.
So hope. Go look that word up and maybe incorporate it. If you have hope and breath, everything will get better.
And just like quickly to, as you're passing, you could pass it, but I just also want to mention that it's okay to also acknowledge the feelings. I didn't mention that, but acknowledge the feelings. If you're feeling sad, it's okay to be sad. I cry on the whim. Like now I don't even care. Like,
Are you a Cancer like me?
if people see me crying, they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I just need a release because I just need to get this out of my body. I recognize how important it is for me to do the simple things. Like just on Monday, I wasn't at work. I went to the park with my niece and I laid on the grass. I just needed to be outside. It was beautiful and it was nice to lay on the grass. So doing things that you need to do, even though it might not be like socially acceptable, it's okay.
How did you feel when you worked in NJPAC?
Well, I think I'm the only one who's here a lot, and I'm in JPAC at the moment. But I'm going to tell you something. I was your age. I used to love to, sing. I wasn't good at singing, but dance. I used to watch Fame. I wanted to be that so bad. In my little high school, I tried to make a drama club. I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted theater. I wanted drama so bad. And I never had it, so I was the weird girl who was like, singing out of locker. In college, I, majored in some real important stuff, psychology and English. And I lived life and always kind of feeling like an outsider. And I'm getting to the point. I had so many different jobs, teaching kids art, drama, magic, everything. I took the job here a little over 3 years ago, and it actually has changed my life. Because as you get older, your life can keep changing. I am around people, almost everyone in this room is in the entertainment industry one way or another, or they're learning. And we are the most interesting, the most vibrant, the most creative creatures anywhere. Artistic people, we help make this world turn, honestly. So the way I feel being here, I feel like at home. And when I meet young people who want to sing, want to dance, want to write, want to do all the things, I feel so happy for you because you're in a safe, good spot to live out your dreams, to get some of the skills to become exactly who you want to be. And it might change, but while you're in NJPAC, we are going to nurture you, we're going to keep you safe, and we're going to make sure, if you're willing, to bring out all your talent so you can go out in the world and kill it. Dreams, dreams. You get to that dream, and it's not even anything you were thinking. Like, what happens, what do you think, what should they do with that feeling? I don't like the word should, because there's no shoulds. What would you suggest to be done with the feeling, like, I don't know, you want to be on Broadway. You're on Broadway, and it's really hard. You really don't like it. The lights are hot. The applause was mediocre. I mean, you know what I mean? The pay's not as good.
People are using their phones in the theater.
Oh no.
What happens when you realize a dream and it's not what you were hoping for? I know it's random, but...
No, it's okay. I guess the first thing I'm thinking of is it's okay to feel that feeling and acknowledge it. Talk about it with someone that you care about. But it's also okay to pivot, because if it's a dream that you were like, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do. I could see I'm gonna do this for years, and you get there, like how you were saying, and it's not what you thought it would be. It doesn't mean it's the end. It just means now you've learned something new about yourself. So it's okay to pivot and perhaps learn what you've learned take what you've learned from that experience and move into something else that you're curious about or care about.
Or maybe share it with others too, because I always believe that if you've gotten to the pinnacle of your career and you think that there's no more, there's always more. You can teach, you can give of yourself to people who want, who look up to you, and they, especially when you're a star, you're a star because people got you there. Yeah, your talent got you there, but what's kept you there are your fans, right? So, and the people that helped, your career along the way. So I always think that giving back speaks volumes, because there's a good feeling when you give of yourself to others.
What would you personally put on your vision board for 2025? That's like a few months from now. What's your name? What's on your vision board? The top thing.
I have positive stickers and a rainbow, and I got positive papers on my vision board.
Are you a positive person? We need people like you, so keep it up, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
What's on your vision board? Oh, let's get this in.
A big goal that I have for 2025 is to cut out the negative people in my life.
That is an important goal. If you can't change the people, change the people.
Very good.
All right, what's on your vision board?
All right. Right.
for
So
2025?
yeah, I really want to do a vision board, prayer board kind of combo. But I enjoy traveling, so that's something I definitely want to put on it. A couple of years ago, I was able to go to Kenya for a women's retreat, and I absolutely loved it. So I want to continue that. And I want to go into some type of doctorate degree. I see myself moving further with that. And of course, still helping the community through art therapy. I love what I do. I love that I'm able to, once again, combine mental health and art therapy and be creative in my job and make my schedule. Like, I love where I am right now. And I want to continue doing that in other places in the community.
I just want to say, as the moderator, don't you dare think you have to be like the people on their way to work. They mad. Life is hard. Why can't I retire? You can. You can actually enjoy this life. You can enjoy most days. There are going to be some hard days because sometimes it rains, but you can actually enjoy life. You can create the life that you want, and it seems like you really are. I'm excited for your vision.
Thank you.
What about you? 2025.
Okay. I was going to say also that when you are tired, take a nap.
Absolutely.
I love a nap.
They're necessary.
Normalize naps.
I love a nap. But for me, I'm going through a transition right now, and 2025 is coming up real fast on me. So I want to keep my happiness. I feel that being positive is important, but for me in particular, I want to get the best. I've had really great jobs in my life. I think that it's going to lead, this new year, it's going to lead to the best job I've ever had. So, and I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to come. It's going to come.
It will.
And
Absolutely.
for me, for 2025,
Yes.
I want more. I want more love that I've been experiencing. I want more freedom. I want more authentic conversations. I want connections. I want to be able to express myself. I envision, I don't want, it's happening. I envision a deeper expression of my art. And I envision more resources to help other people realize their dreams too. I'm way into being a resource so that other people can be happy. Not a Ferrari. Those cars are way too low. I don't need a big house because it got to be clean. I just want, you know my heart, I just want more resources to be able to help other people have a beautiful time here on the planet.